Hey, it's me here reviewing, up here, I'm reviewing that. So about that, what does it say? It's, their third album, released in 2009, I'm pretty sure. I forgot to check the date on it, but I'm pretty sure it's 2009. Anyway, this album with Roots Above and Branches Below by The Devil Wears Prada, the first thing you think of when you listen to this album, it really is partially, you hear music from Plagues and you hear music from the Zombie EP. It's like right in the middle of their transition. I mean, this band has really transitioned from their first album to their latest album. But it's like right smack dab in the middle, and you can really hear stuff from the first two albums, and you can hear stuff from the EP and Dead Through It. But let's dive right into it. From the first track, Sassafras, right away, it's very powerful, energetic song. The breakdowns they use in that song are very they pump you up, I guess. They're very lively, you can say. Well, that's just the start of the album. The rest of the album, what you'll hear is, you'll definitely hear transitions from Jeremy's cleans to, their next riff or their breakdown. That's one thing they haven't quite, I don't want to say fixed because it wasn't really bad. It's one thing they haven't really changed yet, is the transitions. You'll hear Daniel doing his, drum beat, he'll, kind of slow it down, or he'll just really change the tempo, the tempo by doing some weird little fill or something like that. Just kind of slow it down, hit a couple toms and whatnot. But that's something they still have, like what they used to do, and they have on this album. One thing it's partially new. Well, it is new. Jeremy has compared to Plagues, it's very new. Jeremy has these chorus type parts. Definitely in Danger Wild Man, he has a chorus. He has chorus, bridge. And it's something I haven't really done before. I mean, yeah, they've had parts where Jeremy gets 2 or 3 separate parts. Well, just different separate parts, but they've never really been a chorus. They've never had repetition in a way. More than one chorus or anything like that. Off of Plagues, I mean, you'd hear they'll just slow it down. Jeremy would sing and do his stuff in his angel voice and whatnot, and then they would, Daniel would do that transition into something. On this album, like I said, Danger Wild Man, it'll just kind of break into this upbeat part. Like they do it in Lord Zener too. Jeremy's sung with a clean sung part, I guess. They have these upbeat kind of Jeremy parts, and it's something they did. It's different from Plagues, definitely. Dear Love, A Beautiful Discord, they had some upbeat parts, I guess, in a way. But they really have these upbeat parts, and they're once again catchy. What else about this album? Instrumentally, I think. The guy that's always forgotten, Chris Ruby, he lays down the guitar, he lays down pretty much the whole song. That's the thing this guy does. I mean, yeah, I remember interviewing 1 year later, and they said, some of their idols in music aren't really shredders, they're songwriters. And that's one thing that it kind of came to mind when I was listening to this album. Chris Ruby, he really isn't technical, he's not like Ben from the Dillinger Escape Plan or Michael Keane from The Faceless or anything. He's a really excellent songwriter, and the way he uses these really melodic parts, in Assistant to the Regional Manager, it's really top notch, I think. This is the tone of his guitar, and this really nice echo sound through the whole song. It's a really peaceful song, but then it kind of picks up towards the end with this two-step part, I guess you could say, where Jeremy is chugging and Chris has this like really cool lead, you know, and things like that that make Chris Ruby one of my favorite guitarists. Um, Also, instrumentally, you'll notice James plays a huge part in this album with keyboards and synths. Like, like in Danger Wild Man, the bridge, I guess, or whatever you would call it at the end, it's Jeremy singing over like a synth part. In Big Wiggly Style, they have like a piano keyboard riff. It's really, really interesting. I really like it. And it's something really different that's just really cool and really showcases his talents rather than just keeping him, you know, in the background, you know, doing rhythm stuff. He has like he plays noticeable parts in a couple of songs, and it's really cool how they utilize him. It really makes them, you know, it's another thing that makes them, you know, their own band, I guess. Last but not least, well, actually, no, Andy. I'll talk about him before, you know, the superstar of the band. But, or at least, you know, the front man, the guy that people really know. Andy, the bassist, is one heck of a bassist. I really like his bass lines. Like, he'll have these, just these slides and, like, I don't know, he really is a good bassist if you really, like, notice and take the time to listen. But, you know, now to the big part, Mike Haranica, vocalist, one of my favorite vocalists, one of my favorite lyricists, really has a lot of good lines in this song, good lyrics, very, very memorable vocal, what do you call it, lines, I don't know, just when he screams, you know, it's something that like sticks in your head all the time. I'll just be like, damn, this pops into my head, like, once again, Danger Wild Man, I keep coming back to that song, it's one of my favorite songs. He says, do as you please, shame will follow, and with like, you know, everyone else going at the same time, and the way he says that and like matches it, you know, it's just something that really sticks in my head. He plays such a big part in making this album, you know, really good. There's not much left to say. Daniel Williams, still one of my favorite drummers. He, you know, like I said, he still has similar transitions to Plagues, but he really does like put some good beats in, like Wapocalypse. You know, first off, like that riff that just starts out the song is really aggressive, and you can really tell like that's something that's more zombie EP rather than Plagues. It's like, you know, in that song, Daniel's really like really hammering on the drums, and you can tell like that's kind of zombie too. Mike Haranica, also his vocals, you know, he's transitioning a little more from like, you know, the Plagues type of scream that he had to you know, the zombie or Dead Throne scream that he has now. You can tell it's kind of like in between, it's in the middle of a transition. I think the perfect way to describe this album is a nice transition album to where they were, to where they are now. Really shows that they can evolve and change, and overall I think it's a pretty good album. I really enjoy it. You know, you'll like a couple songs if you like the band. I Hate Buffering, Danger Wild Man is probably the best song on there. Even Jeremy has his own song, Louder Than Thunder, where he's just singing the whole time and there's no Mike Haranica. But overall, also Des Moines, that's a good song. You know, they have a couple hits off of this album, and I'm pretty sure you've heard of it, whether you like the band or not. If you like the band, you probably heard the album, you probably like it. But hey, I'm just going to review it for the sake of reviewing. Overall, I think it's probably an 8.5 to 9, just because there's a couple songs that, you know, like, I like all the songs on here, but there's just like a couple songs that I'm like, I don't really remember them. Like, if I'm thinking of this album, I think of Sassafras. I think of Danger Wild Man. Again, bringing up that song. I really like that song. But then there's a couple songs you forget, like Ben Has a Kid. You might forget Big Wiggly Style. Maybe Gimme Half. That's all. I mean, they have funny names, but like, you know, you might just forget those songs over other ones. Whereas I think Dead Throne or Zombie, even though Zombie had 5 songs, you know, they're all memorable. I think it's just a couple of the songs in there just kind of like, I misplace them at times. I can remember them, it's just I think there's, you know, songs that are a lot better than others, you know, even though the other songs are still good in my opinion, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, 8.5 to 9. It's a great transition album. I love where they've gone since then. But that's my review of With Roots Above and Branches Below by The Devil Wears Prada.